What do we got going, Josh? Got people watching, though. People are back. We just have no camera. Technical difficulties here at the big corner.
Click on that. Now click it on again.
Okay, we're trying to get back live here, get a camera going, but not working. Looks like we got people live, and not sure what happened. Camera's not back.
Click on that.
Not sure what's going on.
That's right.
Well, we're trying to get going live here, but something popped up there, Josh, and so I just said okay to it, and the king went blank. So everybody hang tight here a minute. We will
just verify that you're live there, and they got a view of the camera, and we'll keep rolling. How about that? But it is a call-in show. If you're with us, 316-462-3673. That's the best number to jump on that's the number to jump on the air here with us and ask about anything automotive. Want to talk about tires, brakes, check engine lights, race season, new products, anything we've got going on here at Mel Hambelton Ford. Give us a call, 316-462-3673. We're going to mail out a package to each and every caller that calls in and talks with us.
What's in that package, Josh?
Man, glad you asked. It's going to be the Works, which is an oil change, tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Mel Hambelton Ford. While we're performing that, we're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on your vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related components to the vehicle, just, again, making sure that it's geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. You're also going to receive $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the big corner. Complete nitrogen for your tires, so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a BG products package, which is going to consist of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil. Again, just getting it geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
All right, everybody. 316-462-3673. And, hey, someone give me a little chat here on our screen. We don't show our pictures are up. Can everybody verify that we are live and still rolling through the ticker tape here?
I believe that's its way of saying that maybe we got a face for radio.
I got it.
But yeah, I don't know what the heck happened there. There, you're just over there hitting buttons, and
this thing popped up and said,
yeah, click
cancel okay, and I clicked okay, and off the dang thing went. So it looks like we're okay. It looks like we're still live and up and running, so we should be all right.
Yeah, good to go from there. So
we just can't see ourselves. So what the heck?
That's all right.
That's right, too. Anyway, Daniel Jackson got an appointment for Monday. All right, sounds good, buddy. Daniel Jackson says, I see and hear you. Okay, great.
Very good.
Amanda, good morning, Amanda. You are live, audio and video. Okay, Daniel, thanks for the help there, guys. We just can't see ourselves on our screen, but we want to make sure we were there. So anyway, 316-462-3673. You dial that number up and come right to our front desk. The gals will get the number and they'll patch you into us. And it's anything to help you understand your car, something you don't understand or whatever, anything in the automobile world, racing world, whatever it might be. We're here to answer your questions and get you that great price package. And who knows, you might even get a free diagnostic just for calling
into the show, right?
So,
one of the things that I guess I wanted to talk about today was just basic maintenance on a vehicle and the importance and needs of what that is. We've got a van back there. It's a commercial use van. Mm-hmm. And so already with it being a commercial use vehicle, it's relatively new. It's only 2 or 3 years old from that side, but it's got well over 100,000 miles on it. I'm going to say roughly, 130, 140,000 miles on a couple-year-old van. So the thing doesn't sit. So time is obviously very important to whoever has that. They're in it all the time. They need the van to do whatever they need to do. I mean, it's got loaded down with some equipment and stuff like that from that side of things. Well, this thing, we tear into it and the turbo, so it's got codes for the turbo is what it came in for. And we tear into it and pull the turbo. Well, just before the turbo, there's a screen or a filter that's part of that turbo. And we pull that filter out, and the thing is just completely plugged.
So they had some good maintenance on it, is what you're saying.
That's where I was headed with this from that side. But I don't know. Maybe you had a comment over here on Facebook.
Yeah, I had one.
Sounded like or looked like.
Well, yeah, I kind of thought better throw that on up there. Oh, Daniel, he's kind of being funny. And, here, I'll put that back up there again. Dr. Phil, you broke it. You got to fix it. You're very funny, Daniel. That's all right.
There you go.
I can take it. So,
but we've got this, like I said, this van back there, and with as many miles as on it and the equipment that's on it, these guys need this van. Well, we pull the turbo screen off, and it is just filled full of, soot basically, and engine oil particles from not being serviced regularly. But I mean, now we're down for literally several days or multiple days on a repair that could have been easily avoided with just a little bit better maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
And we go back and, we talk to because it is a fleet company that has it, and talk about maintenance records and stuff like that. Well, some of what they're not putting into consideration is, first of all, we're already going over the 5,000 mile service intervals. I think it averaged between 12 to 16,000 miles was roughly about when they were servicing the thing. But then in addition to that, we're not calculating any idle miles on this thing, because the thing, it is a higher idle vehicle. It does do a lot of idling because of some of the equipment that they have in the van. They weren't compensating for any of that either. So when you add that into the equation as well, and what I try to convey to people just about service in general is, if you were to take a road trip and you were to go from Miami, Florida to Anchorage, Alaska, that's a pretty long trip. You wouldn't just jump in your car and take off down the road.
Yeah, I agree.
But every time you do that, after 5,000 miles, that's exactly what you're doing, because that's what that trip is. That trip is like 5,024 miles. But before you did that, you dang sure want to check over the car, check over the tires, make sure tire pressures were good.
Preventative stuff,
yeah,
right?
Make sure that you had plenty of tread on the tires, make sure that your fluids were filled, all of that stuff. And then, just get the oil out, do an oil change.
Yep.
And time again, I go back here and walk through this shop and see repairs that we're having to complete, that I think, man, just a little bit of preventative maintenance one way or the other on this thing could have saved, a lot of money. But also, in a particular situation where this with this van, is the time of the vehicle being down. I mean, that is at the end of the day, that's money too, to companies or to individuals.
Would this truck be the one that's sitting right there as you walk past in the shop, right next to the alignment machine?
So this one's actually about 3/4 of the way down on the left hand side over there. So no, that would be a different.
That's a different deal. I was kind of wondering what's going on with that truck too, because that truck's been in a couple of days, and it's going through major surgery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with something on the engine, so I was kind of wondering if maybe that was the one that was doing that or not too. So,
yeah, nope, it's down the way there, but it's these vehicles are different. They from years ago, and what you had to do to them, and the mileage that they would drive, and everything. 100,000 miles years ago, and you were thinking, okay, it's probably about time to get rid of that vehicle and get into something else. And I mean, it's nothing to see a car with 200,000 miles on it now, and it runs fine, starts fine, and people would hop in it and go cross country in it. From that side, if it's well maintained or well taken care of, and they'll go the distance, but you got to maintain them.
That's exactly right. And looks like we got a call coming in, so Josh, I'm going to get that patched in here. Anyway, good morning, Delbert and Daniel Jackson. You are exactly correct. My dad always told me, if you take care of the vehicle will take care of you. That's exactly right. It's kind of like that one. Nice little guy working with my dad had always said, Fram had that commercial out there, pay me now or pay me later.
but you're going to do it. It's going to happen. From that side.
Yeah, exactly. James Furman, yes, it is. It's practice at 81 Speedway. Is the 3J going to get to play today? And Furman, no, it's not going to get to play today. As much as I want to be out there at 81 Speedway, we're preparing for Bristol. We're going to head out here. The toter should be leaving next Friday with Tanner and Jake's car headed to Bristol. So we've been gearing the car, getting it ready to go for there. A lot of changes, a lot of things there that that car is going through, a lot of stuff and everything to run those higher speeds and run those different bankings and stuff out there at Bristol. So excited to go. Can't wait to get to Bristol and see what we can do.
Good morning. You're live with Under the Hood. Go ahead.
Hi. Hey, I've got a 2004 Chevrolet Impala, and it accelerates just fine, but if at about half throttle, and it'll run all the way up to 70 miles an hour. But if you want to pass somebody, it stumbles real bad. It just won't take. It'll go. You can accelerate slow, and it's fine. But if you push the pedal down, it just shuts off.
Okay, and when you
let back up, then it picks back up and goes on.
Yeah, and when you say it shuts off, are you getting does the check engine light come on at you or flash at you or anything like that?
No.
Okay, how many miles we got on this Impala?
180.
180. Okay. So there's a couple of things that I'm thinking of off the bat. One of them, I was wondering, when you're saying it stumbles or jerks, I was wondering about it misfiring under a load. So the majority of your misfires are going to come under a load. So a load would typically be heavy acceleration on something, things like that. If the check engine light isn't flashing at you and it's not like bucking and jerking a lot from that side, that's probably not what is going on with it. So then from there, I'm wondering about it breathing. So a couple of different things that I would wonder is, one, is it getting enough fuel in?
That's where I was headed about fuel pressure.
Yeah. So I wonder what we have going on with fuel pressure. The other thing on that 04 Impala actually has a fuel filter in it. And so I wonder what that filter is like and if it's plugged up, causing a restriction so it cannot get enough fuel into it. Now, let's say it is getting enough fuel into it. Then the other thing that I would wonder about, and we've seen, is the exhaust would actually be plugged up from a converter and have a restriction, and you'd have too much back pressure in the exhaust. And so if there's something going on there and it can't get the exhaust out of it under a heavier load, then it's going to have a restriction on that side of it too. So you started to make a comment there on the fuel pressure there.
No, I didn't.
Gotcha. So I don't know, how long have you had the vehicle and how long has it kind of had the concern or issue?
I've had it for probably 3 years, and it's started doing it 3-4 months ago.
Yeah.
And it just progressively got worse.
Yeah.
It's like before it would just do it sometimes, and now it's every time. So it's like if you're rolling down a road at 30 or 40 miles an hour and you punch it, it just
doesn't want to get out of its own way.
Doesn't want to get out right.
And how long's it been doing it?
But if you just slowly increase the pedal, it'll just keep right on going.
Yeah. I'm going to say that we've probably got a restriction in fuel. Other than that, the car starts okay, like cold start, doesn't have an extended crank, anything like that.
No, it's fine. Other than that,
okay.
Once in a while, you'll be driving down the road at 65 miles an hour, and it'll just stumble a little bit, but go right on. It's like it just stumbles, but it doesn't stop anything. Doesn't.
Does this have the 3.8 liter in it, or what engine's in this?
It's like a 3.4.
3.4, yeah. So we're going to throw a diagnostic onto your package, Steve, and we'll take a look at that thing at no charge to you, figure out just exactly what's going on with it. I'm going to tell you that we're probably going to find that it's got an issue with the fuel pressure or the back pressure in the exhaust would be kind of my thought or guess behind that. But again, we'll throw that diagnostic on there and take a look at it at no charge to you and figure out exactly what's going on with it for you, okay?
Okay, well, I sure appreciate it.
Perfect. Thanks for the call, Steve.
Thank you.
All right, 316-462-3673. Hey, I know it's the only show I know you get paid to call in on, and who knows, you might get a diagnosis like Steve did there too, because sometimes we just can't quite get them diagnosed over the phone. Josh got a comment here, and very good comment. We can probably talk about this for hours, but it's still a great question. But Drew Carl, what do you think about 7,500 mile service intervals on commercial vehicles? Any warranty concerns on new vehicles servicing every 7,500? Well, Drew, here's what I'm going to tell you is, back in the day, it was a 3,000 mile oil change. And I tell you, I had a hard time going to the 5,000 interval. But then I realized, too, how much better our oils are. We do have a little bit better filters than what we used to have years ago. These engines do run some hotter temperatures than what they used to run. So I'm okay with the 5,000. Now, in the commercial vehicles, here's what I'm going to tell you. If that vehicle starts up and runs and it's moving all day long and everything else like that, the 7,500 might not be too bad because you're basically running it enough to get it hot enough to burn the condensation out of it so it doesn't turn into sludge at the bottom of the oil pan and that kind of thing too. But if that truck's doing a lot of idling and everything else like that, probably not very good either on the 7,500 mile service interval. But my next thing is a manufacturer going to decline a warranty claim because of that? If you can prove you've changed the oil every 7,500 miles, I don't think so from that part. But again, I'm going to look at how long that oil's in there wearing out that engine and taking the life out of that engine if we're not getting clean, fresh oil in it and everything else too from that part. But, Josh, I know we can, like I said,
I was going to say that is it could be a subject for a long time for sure.
And I'm going to tell you, Drew, here's my thing is if you think about how much an engine cost and you think about how much an oil change cost, back when the days when the first full synthetic oils came out, they were so expensive and stuff. And I told everybody you would be much better off instead of spending the money in the full synthetic was changing oil every 2,500 instead of 5,000 and keeping good, clean, fresh oil in there would be better for your engine than that. But now that the synthetics have come down in price and everything else like that, and they do such a great job, I think that the full synthetics is a great thing for your engines today. So if I was doing a commercial vehicle, I would be having full synthetic in there for sure.
Yeah. But, we've got another caller, on the line. So we're getting Daniel patched through here. So we'll be with him in just a minute. But like you said, this is a conversation that could go on for quite some time for sure.
Yeah. So Drew, I hope we answer your questions. The biggest thing on a commercial vehicle, if it's running and driving all day long, doing its different things and stuff like that, hey, great. I think you can do 7,500 from that part.
Good morning. You're on live with Under the Hood. Go ahead.
Good morning there, Dr. Phil.
What do you say there, mechanic?
The previous caller, I have almost the identical situation, but again, it's my 1988 K2500 four-wheel drive truck.
Yeah.
I bought off of eBay a fuel pressure testing kit.
Yep.
And no one can tell me how to hook it up to the engine. It's a throttle body injected. When I get up to passing gear between 35 and 40, it just nosedive. Now it won't even get out of the driveway. So I'm thinking it's fuel pump related because I changed the ECM out and the air code, there is none now. And I'm just like stoked on what I can and can't do.
So when you say it won't get out of the dry, it starts up and runs okay, right? But as soon as you start to accelerate, it won't go?
Yeah, that's right. It just spits and sputters. I've changed the upflow oxygen sensor, the exhaust manifold gaskets, all the spark plugs, the ECM. And no, I did not take the old chip out of the old ECM, and swap them out. I bought this at salvage yard, put it in, and she ran great. The check engine light don't come on. I hooked up the OBD reader, but I'm stuck.
Did it change that much when you put the PCM in there, or did it run okay for a while?
Well, I changed out the ECM because conversations with you guys and what I could dig up on these different General Motor truck forums I've been visiting, I pull out because no matter what I did, the air code 44 was there. I even disconnected the battery, turned the headlight switch on to drain the ECM codes, put it all back together, and no sooner I turned the key, I got the air code 44 back. So I just replaced everything. So the air code's gone. But when I start it up now, it runs and idles great. But by the way, the previous owner took all the emission controls. So Josh was talking about the catalytic converter getting full. It ain't there. So it just runs rough. I mean, like it's getting starved for fuel. Again, I can't figure out how to hook this fuel pressure gauge up. I went to YouTube, and the guy's got one identical to mine, but he's got the Schrader valve. I don't have that.
Yeah.
School me.
Yeah, you've got to take a line off and splice it in a line to check that pressure.
So they make an adapter that goes in place of the fuel filter itself. And then so you pull the fuel filter out, then you put the adapter in there, and then the gauge will read off of that line. Well,
here's the problem. The fuel filter is on the frame under the driver's door.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, I've looked, and in the library, they don't even have it. The specifications, torquing the head bolts, the crank, fuel pressure, I can't find none of that. I know you guys have the books, the software.
Do you
The guy had a Dodge, and it was like 40 pounds pressure by specifications. I can't find the specification sheet for my old truck. I need to get it back roadworthy.
Well, next thing is you have the PCM you took out of the truck?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do is go take that PCM and plug it back in and see if it goes back to running better than what it is now. And if it does,
okay, do you want me to replace the ECM entirely, or those EEPROM chips?
No, I think I just want you to go change the whole thing, because all you did was take one out and put the other one in, correct?
Correct.
So one of two things. One, put that PCM back in the old one and see what it does. See if it goes back to running better than what it did. Then if it does, then put that new PCM in, but then take that EEPROM out of the old PCM and put it in the new PCM. But now be careful when you take that EEPROM out of there, because you can bend the little fingers that go down in the connector and everything else. It got to come out of it very gently and very easy. And then as you go back in with it too, as you push that thing back down into that PCM, you got to be very careful not to bend one of those little fingers that go down inside there for the connection. But that might be all that's wrong here.
It's called an IC socket, Phil. I'm also into electronics, and I do work on CB radios. But yeah, there's a tool we use in electronics that grabs that, it's called an EEPROM, to pull it out without bending everything. I know what you're talking about there, sir.
Okay, good. So that's one of two things. Either just change that EEPROM real quick and see what it does from that part, but I bet that's where we're headed. But I just wanted to prove my point with making sure that where we're at, back to square one.
So I want to know, I want to know fuel wise, what's going on with the fuel pressure on the thing too, just to eliminate that or make sure that that's not an issue. So I'll look up the fuel specifications on it, Daniel, and give you a shout after the show and let you know. What year was that thing again?
88, 2500. 1988, 25.
No. It's a 1988 Chevrolet K2500 5.7 liter TBI.
Okay.
And it's got that big 4-wheel drive transmission, if that makes sense. Because the last time I had it on the road, back in January, I guess, I went to Wichita, went to the salvage yard and got the instrument cluster and a starter. I get back all the way to Burton, and it died on me, guys. Cost me $150 tow bill. But anyway, it's gone downhill ever since.
Well, we'll get
you try. Here's what we're also going to do, Daniel. I want you to try that EEPROM thing. If that doesn't work, then we're going to come with our truck and trailer and pick that thing up and bring it over until we can look at it. Okay.
Well, you better have a big tow truck, because I've got 2 full-length bed toolboxes, and there's over 1,000 pounds of tools, chains, and equipment. and it's a 4-wheel. Dude, this thing's heavy.
Don't worry, we
big girl.
we haul big super duty.
hear-
We haul big super duties around on this trailer, so we're good.
Okay. But anyway, so what you're saying, this $28 gadget I got off eBay, the fuel pressure testing kit, gentlemen, it's got just about everything you wish. And so what you're saying is I got to crawl under the truck to hook up to where the fuel filter is, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, the reason I'm asking is the connector in front of the TBI, wouldn't it be logical to hook it up there, or do I got to bypass the fuel filter because of the reduced pressure going through the filter? You see what I'm saying?
No, you're just doing it from the filter side of it to put it in line so you can monitor the fuel as it's flowing. So there's two things that you're looking for with fuel. One is the pressure, just make sure that you have the initial pressure, but then two is flow. It could start and run fine, but then when you go to accelerate, it'll buck and jerk and stuff like that. And the pump could not be producing enough flow to keep it running, or there could be a restriction in the fuel line, or something along those lines that would prevent flow from that side.
I remember as a kid when they started putting electric fuel pumps on vehicles. Like, for example, Phil would know what I'm talking about. The old Chevrolet Vegas had electric fuel pump on the frame.
Yep.
Well, what my dad did is he would take his compressor and blow the fuel line out from the carburetor back, and then he'd do the same thing from the fuel line going into the gas tank to the filter. That way he would make sure there's no obstructions in the fuel line. You see what I'm saying, gentlemen? I'm
Yep.
going to do the same thing on my truck. Because, it's a possibility that something's gummed up in the tank and it's plugging.
Yeah.
That's very possible too. Yes.
Well, here's my problem. I don't want to drop the gas tank because there's 35 gallons in it. So I'm taking enough of your time, and I'll watch the rest on Facebook and listen. So thank you, gentlemen.
Daniel, check that out and let me know. We'll get our truck and trailer to come over and get it if we need to. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Anyway, some more chit chats over here. It's Jim Petty from Oklahoma City. Jim, hope you had a safe trip down there and back. Down there, hope you're having some blast down there in Oklahoma City. And morning, Fred. How are you, buddy? Anyway, James Furman's coming in next week to get his service to Quick Lane. James Furman has a photo deal he does. He goes around and photos a lot of the races and stuff. He does a lot of Team 3J videos for us too. So James, the race season is here. Can't wait to get you see out there video and stuff and watching your videos and stuff that you do, taking care of racing and everything else, James. So, all right, 316-462-3673. Hey, anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be. Josh, just real quick, let's kind of run down some of our sponsors that help us keep this show live and everything else. It's Big Corner Creative. For any of your advertising needs, those guys down there can do about anything for you to help you advertise your company. If you need a web page design, if you need a vehicle wrap, if you need windows tinted, if you need windows wrap, whatever it is to advertise your business or promote yourself or whatever, as those guys say, just Google us. BG Products. A lot of people, Josh, think that they sponsor this show because I sell their products. Well, you know what? I've been using their products since 1987. When I was killing people with the smoke coming out the back of the cleaning fuel injection with 44K.
It's been a day or two, right?
Yeah, it's been a day or two. But I love BG Products. I love what they do. I love that they're right here in Wichita, Kansas, and their big warehouse and distribution centers right there in El Dorado. Those guys are great to work with. It's a great partnership we have with them. If you were here at the race open house, they had a great engine that they had all tore apart. You can watch it run and see how an engine works and everything. It's very cool. That part. We just love those guys at BG and what they do to help get your car to run longer. Remember in your owner's manual, what says in there is what your minimum requirements are for that car, not what it takes to make that car run many, many miles. And I'm telling you, all those products at BG, as those guys, I love their quote, you get what you pay for. If you're paying $1.99 for some fuel additive or some oil treatment, guess what? You're probably not getting very much to protect your engine from that part too. So BG Products. And then go to your rent. Hey, if you're looking for a rental vehicle, a 12 or 15 passenger van or need something bigger to get a road trip in, spring break's around the corner. I do know that he is booked up on vans already. So sorry about that, but see what you can do. You might get some dates in there where he does have a few vans available. So that'd be great. Got a phone call coming in, Josh?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we'll get them patched through here. But yeah, if you need some rental arrangements, Dan will be more than happy to get you helped over there. Got a lot of different vehicles to choose from and different sizes for sure. So
while you're waiting for the call coming in.
Yep,
All right,
got a
the call coming in.
Let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Delbert. Delbert, you're live with Under the Hood. Go ahead.
Well, good morning, gentlemen, and happy Saturday to you.
Hey, Sim, to you.
So I got my 19 Escape back from the body shop. They screwed up my windshield wipers somehow. I want to see if you guys can help me maybe figure it out before I have to take it to the dealer to get looked at.
So what's going on, buddy?
Well, they worked fine after the accident because I had to use them on the way home.
Okay.
However, now when you turn them on, they hesitate to the up position and then they go back down. They work, but they stop and then they go. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So is it making a full sweep, or is it stop kind of halfway in the middle of the sweep, or what's it doing?
Well, it looks like, to me, it looks like it's not going quite all the way, but it's like maybe a half an inch from being all the way.
Okay. And the thing got hit in the right front?
Yeah. And I'm going to have to replace the washer fluid bottle because it leaks. So, and also I keep getting, even when it's full, it says that it's low on fluid.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not sure what happened there with the wipers or whatever.
So I would wonder a couple of different things. One, an issue with timing and just how the wipers are timed. Two, there's kind of like essentially there's a timing procedure to those wiper blades because they're like progressive because they fold from the inside out on both of them. And so I would say that they probably had that wiper cowl off. And in order to do that, you have to remove the wiper blades to do that. And I'm just wondering if we've got them timed wrong is what I would wonder.
Yeah, I think that might be the case. They did have to replace that cowl cover. But they said, we didn't touch anything in there. I said, well, you had to take the wiper blades off. So there's your problem.
So they replaced the cowl cover. They
hook those back correctly.
Yeah.
I took the blades off and I ran the motor because I marked it with a marker so I could see if it was going. It looks like it's going okay back and forth without the
blades
weight of
on.
the blades on there. But it's really hard to tell since you're looking at a small post versus a full wiper going back and forth. So,
well, I promise you, if they had that cowl off or whatever, then they've got something mistimed, like Josh said. Guaranteed.
But is that something I can look at and fix, or is there a procedure for that? Or
so, yeah, what I can do, I could probably get the procedure to you after the radio show here. I'll look up that procedure and get it to you as far as reinstalling those. And it's just the whole arm assembly on the just right above the cowl cover. There should just be like a little retainer that you kind of like pull down, and then the whole arm cover will come off with the wiper blade and everything right there. And so there's several different splines on it, and it's just a matter of getting it lined up correctly. So, but I'll get a procedure printed out on that thing, and we can get it down to you after the show.
Okay, sounds good. I'll try that, and if that doesn't work, then I guess I'm gonna have to take it in anyway.
I was gonna say if that doesn't get it for you, and you want to bring it into us, I mean, I know if I remember right, you're a little ways away, but if you want to bring it into us, we'll be more than happy to help you with that and get it timed right. Because just being out of time is not.
Talking to the wife, we're gonna get both cars in there here within the next month, I hope.
Not a huge deal to retime it. So, all right.
All right, cool. Thank you, guys.
Perfect.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for the call, and glad you got that.
Hear Daniel, he makes me laugh.
Yeah. Glad you got that car back, and we'll get those wipers squared away for you.
Yeah, the guy did some more things that I'm not really happy with, but I got to deal with him on that. So.
Yep, I hear you. We'll see what you get done. We'll help you wherever we can and get fixed stuff when you bring her down next month too, if we have to.
I appreciate you guys.
Have a good day, buddy.
People.
You bet. Bye. All right, 316-462-3673. Hey, this number to dial up in the air. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries. Who knows? You might get on top of that $130 package. You might get diagnostic on top of it. So let's get the phones ringing. Get some comments coming. Everything else from that part too. So I know we got a couple more callers going to be coming here in just a second, Josh. I'm getting some texts and stuff coming through.
Oh yeah.
So here we go.
We'll get them dispatched through here.
All right, sounds good. And Daniel, reassemble the remark. Not sure what Daniel's got there going up. We'll get it figured out here in just a second. So anyway, looks like we got Trenton Berry from Racing Dirt coming on live here with us just a minute. We had the wild action last night down at the Texas at RPM Motor Speedway. It's first night of USMTS action, and from that part, so excited here to talk to Trenton on all the exciting stuff that happened down there in Texas last night. And I know they're going for night 2 tonight. And it's the first race of their new race format for this year, USMTS. So we'll talk to Trenton about that too.
Where are they at down in Texas? Do you know?
Crandall, Texas is where they're at.
Crandall, Texas.
Yeah. Looks like it's about a big 3/8 mile track, and been a lot of rain and stuff down there lately and stuff too. So I know we had a hard time keeping the track ready to go and everything else too, but I get it. Trenton, good morning, buddy.
Hey guys, how are you?
Well, good. You're up and at 'em already from the long, hard night you had last night?
Oh yeah. Shoot, it's no big deal. It's just well, we knocked a little rust off, right? Like everybody on the crew had a little bit of rust. We had to get knocked off last night, and yeah, we're rip roaring and ready to roll.
All right, everybody, listen right now. We're listening to Trenton Berry. He's from Racing Dirt, and they take care of all the USMTS races and put them up live for us. And of course, I had it on. Of course, last night I was in here in the shop working on our car, Trenton, and guess what we had on the feed was Racing Dirt. We were listening. I think we got more watching than we did working on the race car last night because we were excited to watch what's going on and everything else like that too. So it looked like it was fun down there last night. Looks like the track was a little heavy yet, but all things considered, I think it was a pretty good night.
Yeah, and I think the guys were kind of a little leery that it would get really rough last night, and it got a little rough, but it wasn't real bad. It was just enough to make it pretty interesting, you know. Yep. I'd say all things considered, gosh, man, the way this area just got pounded. I don't want to slide any other part of the country because everywhere did here a couple weeks ago, but it was really, you know, not something they're accustomed to deal with here. And then they had rain early this week too, so much that, you know, they lost practice that first night. So, yeah. Man, all things considered, I don't know how you get it to go much better. I mean, it's hard too because, you know, on the USMTS race, ideally you probably don't want 200 cars and stretch your night out. But man, this was the first race in DFW this whole year. So I mean, everybody wants to race, and I get it. And you know, just thankful that everybody wanted to come support the event, really. You know, and you just kind of know a few of those races are just going to run a little longer.
Oh yeah,
you know, just what it was because so many cars. But man, it was a great night.
It was a great night. It's the first night to kick off the many of the races that USMT's having this year of the 10,000 to win, and tonight's again at 10,000 to win tonight too, isn't it, Trenton?
Yeah, it is 10,000 win tonight, and the $70,000. That $70,000 point fund at the end is, you know, it's definitely got a lot of people's attention, and that's unheard of for modified racing. I mean, you get to that point, you're talking about, you know, you're in that realm of the World Outlaws, Lucas Oil late models, and it's pretty impressive, impressive. And man, we had a great audience last night. Gosh, one of the bigger single night audiences that we've ever had in the decade history of our company. The grandstands were packed last night. Boy, hard to you look at the whole thing, hard to see that much could have really went better right out of the gate, you know?
No, I agree with you. For those of you not just tuning in or whatever too, we're getting a lot of watchers coming on, not live here now, is the talking to Trenton Berry from Racing Dirt, and they live stream all the USMTS races, and Todd Staley kicked off a new thing this year. Like you said, it's a $70,000 points fund for the winner at the end of the season to win. It's something new and exciting. And Trenton, wouldn't you say last year the average races won $2,500 to $3,000, something like that?
Yes,
on the average.
They were. Yep, and so it's a night and day difference. I mean, there were 71 cars in the pits last night. Here's a good stat for reference sake. That car count was in the 40s last year. So we ended last year right in early November, right here at the same racetrack in Crandall, Texas that we're at, and we were able to pick up, you know, point fund increase, purse increase, and obviously your beginning of the year is probably a little better than the end of the year in most scenarios, but not a 30 car difference. You know what I mean? If all things are equal. So there's a big step forward here.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun and exciting for the racing world and everybody else out there and stuff too. So, if we weren't getting ready to go to Bristol, I know that Jake and I would have been down there too, but we're working hard to get that car ready to go to Bristol next week, and excited for that, but excited for tonight. So if anybody's listening wants to watch Racing Dirt, there's umpteen ways you can grab on Racing Dirt. You can just go to the webpage. You can get their app. And, last night when I got home, I was watching all the way home. I had a couple of accidents getting home last night trying to watch it on my phone. Shouldn't be saying I'm doing that. But then I got home, I streamed it up on my TV and stuff too, and watched the final races and stuff on that part. But it's exciting tonight. And what time does everything kick off tonight, Trenton?
Yeah, so we'll start an hour earlier. So we're going to roll right about 6 o'clock is what the boss man told us last night when we were wrapping the night up. So second night's always, on these multi-day deals should be a little more on time. Not that we were late last night, but just trying to figure out procedures and everything, and having most of your people there. The sign-ins will start earlier, and it'll run a little quicker. So yeah, probably ought to be around 6 o'clock. I do want to take a second to tell you, I know you're not going to toot your own horn, so I'm just going to do it for you here while you've got me on your airwaves for a second. But those races and that $70,000 to win point fund. MH Ford is a huge part of that, and you guys are everything to get us up and down the road. So, man, thank you.
No, you bet, Trenton. Thank you. It's great to be a partner with you guys and USMTS and be part of all this stuff for MH Ford Racing. We've got quite a few drivers down there with Tanner Mullins is down there. Brandon Gibbons is down there. Joe Duvall's down there. All part of MH Ford Racing and stuff. And so fun, exciting.
I know it's not lost on these racers either. I mean, you guys had the huge banner in turn 3, and I was talking to one of our guys, Tyler Rinkin. He's pretty close with a lot of these racers, and he actually rode down from Minnesota with the shots, and Lucas told him that he knew about your guys' involvement and just called you guys up to get his new wheels for the year. So it's pretty cool, and I think these racers are realizing what keeps them going too. So it's really neat when it comes full circle.
It is. It's very cool. And, we started this MH Ford Racing 3 years ago. It's kind of my envision was just to put, more people in this dealership, more stuff in here to buy cars, to get them serviced, buy regular parts, buy race parts, all that kind of stuff. And, me being a racer at heart too, I know what it takes to get these things around the racetrack and get going. And we got to support, got to give back. And it's a great opportunity for us to help those racers and get them where they need to go. And again, thank you enough, Trent and all your gang with Racing Dirt to keep us out there live and everything else, so we can watch these shows and stuff. And tune in tonight at 6 o'clock. And again, Trenton, it's on. You can get an app. You can go to Facebook. You can go to where else can we?
Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Google. So if you have an Android phone, the Google Play Store is your app store. We've got one on there. Android TV as well. I know that one's not quite as popular, but we get several people to watch on Android TVs too. So a lot of different ways out there.
A lot of different ways to watch the race. It's going to be a fun, exciting night. Again, it's $10,000 to win. I hope there's some more cars that show up tonight too, because being the weather and stuff, some people kind of held back a little bit, want to make sure the race is going to happen. So I hope some more guys show up tonight. But you had 71 last night. That was a good car count, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, no, it's tremendous, and you don't want to step out on a limb, and you don't want to have too much recency bias in it, but really hard to see with the way this started last night how this probably won't be the best season in the history of the tour. And you're talking about 20 years of success, which is not easy to do in the racing world, and this one probably being the best one. So
I agree with you 100%.
I'm pumped.
Yep, it's fun, exciting. Well, Trenton, can't wait to watch The View tonight, and thanks for everything you do for us, and a great partnership with you guys, and everything you do, and keep the videos coming, keep everything coming. You guys do a lot of stuff on Facebook that's very cool, all that good stuff too. So everybody check out Racing Dirt and all the good stuff they do for racing.
Likewise, man. When we started this thing, I never could have dreamed to have a partner as good as you guys. So the pleasure's ours. You guys have a great day.
You too.
Talk to you soon, Trenton. Thanks, buddy.
See you guys.
Right. All right, let's go to the phones. Got another caller, right, John?
Yeah, we do. We'll get them patched through here.
All right, 316-462-3673. Let's get the phones ringing. Again, thanks, Trenton, for calling us up. I'm sure he was up late last night doing all the interviews and all that good stuff down there at Crandall, the USMTS race. And again, I'll talk about more racing. There's 81 Speedway today from 1 to 4. Open practice for those guys out there. And I know a lot of guys are excited to get out there at 81 Speedway to get them tuned in and dialed in and all that kind of good stuff. So Racing is here, Josh. Can't wait.
I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I didn't think it was ever going to come just with the weather we were having, but, it definitely turned around here. So,
Yep, exactly correct. So,
got a caller getting them patched through here.
Going to kind of holding it along there, waiting on them. So, sorry about that. And we'll get them tiled in here real quick. So, and let's see here. Coming through.
Yeah, he said that kicked off at what time this evening?
Tonight.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Is on the Racing Dirt, and I was watching on my phone and got home, blew it up on my TV just in time to watch the A feature last night and stuff too. So everybody ready to go? Maybe we made him wait too long. Maybe that's what happened or whatever. I'm not sure. But anyway, 316-462-3673. Hey, that's the number to dial up in the air. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be. We're here to answer your questions, give you anything you can to help make your car experience a little bit better. And not coming through. So sorry, I've been kind of pausing here just a little bit, waiting on that caller to come through, but I think maybe we had him wait just a little bit too long, whatever. That's sorry about that. So anyway, 6 o'clock tonight, Racing Dirt, and those guys will have us a great video feed and everything to watch the races down there at Crandall. Again, got some racers down there from MH Ford Racing, which is Tanner Mullins in the 02. Got Brandon Gibbons down there in the 2G and Joe Duvall in the 91. All three of the cars made the A feature last night, so that was cool. Joe Duvall won his heat race. It was another cool deal down there last night, so good for him from that part. So great to have our cars down there and doing some good feed and stuff too. So tonight will be exciting too. When the reason I say I think there's probably going to be more cars tonight because a lot of guys were worried about meeting and because of the weather.
Yeah.
So we'll see how tonight goes.
Lynn, you're on live with Under the Hood. Go ahead.
Yes. Hi there. I just had a question for you guys.
Sure.
So on my vehicle, I have a Chevy Traverse. So where like my odometer is, and where it kind of lights up all that kind of stuff, like sometimes it will not show up. So I was kind of
just the display itself just kind of goes away and comes back and
for the odometer and mileage.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what year is Traverse is that?
It is a 2012.
2012. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And roughly about how many miles are on that thing?
There's about 100 and about 130,000.
130K. And then, so in that there's a circuit for that display itself. And there's a couple of different ways to repair that. One would be completely replacing the whole cluster itself, which that would include all the gauges and everything. There are some occasions, so you could replace that through OEM or original equipment part. There are some aftermarket parts out there that are available for it as well. And then the third way to repair it would be to just go in and replace just that circuit for the odometer display. I'm trying to think because there's a driver's information center in there too, isn't there, that you can go through with the controls and do different things with it. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And all of that goes black when it's not working.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. So there is a couple of different ways that you can repair it. And, for the most part, a large majority of the times it can be repaired. Occasionally you'll tear the cluster out of it or the instrument panel cluster out of it. And it's not repairable, that it would have to be replaced. But like I said, there is a couple of different ways to replace it from there. Now, if you were to repair it, it's just a matter of the repair. If it was a replacement and you were to replace the whole cluster, that can get a little more expensive. But then also when that cluster is replaced, it has to be programmed. It is a programmable module. And so it would have to be programmed with special tools and equipment to do that. So we can, I'm going to put a diagnostic onto your package. We'll take a look at that, at no charge to you, figure out just exactly what all the options are. And so we can get you some options on what it would take to get it fixed up and get it replaced for you.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds good.
Okay, Lynn, we'll get that added to your package, and let's get that Traverse in here and see if we can get figured out for you, okay?
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Lynn, thank you. Anyway, Delbert Art had a good comment, so I put it up on the screen, Josh. And everybody, please go out on our YouTube channel, Mel Hambelton Ford, and subscribe for us. And we'd love to get these up to 1,000 likes. And once we get to 1,000 likes, there's some more things we can do with this show through the podcast and stuff. So we'd appreciate those likes if you can get them out there for us. Really greatly appreciate that very much. And Fred Cross has got a question here, Josh. We need to grab up onto here. And let's get his question here. He's got a 1997 Ford Ranger. Idles fine, but it has low power issues when stepping on the gas. Done a tune-up, didn't help. Would it have a fuel pressure issue? Fred, very possible it is a fuel pressure issue. We do need to kind of probably check that fuel pressure out or whatever from that part. And when you said you did a tune-up, I'm wondering, is that probably spark plugs, I'd imagine, is what you did there. I don't know what else you would have done in that tune-up on that 97. Would you put a fuel filter in it too? Because that could be possible if it is a fuel pressure problem. It could be a plugged fuel filter not letting things through. So I don't know if you check that either too, Fred. But I'd love to put a diagnostic on it on a package for you, Fred, that we can send out to you on that. We'll need to get your address and stuff too, Fred, that we can do that to send you that certificate in the mail. We can get that Ranger and take a look at it. But if you didn't put a fuel filter on it, that would be the next thing I'd go try real quick and see if that didn't, because it's good preventative maintenance anyway to replace that fuel filter. Sure couldn't hurt to try that and see what that does for you. If that doesn't, Fred, we can get it in here and take a look at it and see what you got. So
then you got plug wires too is the other thing, depending upon what's going on. But like you say, when you do those things, it's in an attempt to fix something, but also it's probably something that should have had a maintenance interval on it and should have been replaced anyway. So
yeah, exactly. Anyway, just a few minutes left on the show. 316-462-3672. And
3673.
Where'd that
Let's
come
do the
from?
3673.
3673. Where'd that 2 come in? Josh,
I'm not sure where that came from.
Not either. That's crazy. 316-462-3673. I got it that time.
Nailed it.
Anyway, jump over on YouTube and give us a subscribe on Mel Hambelton Ford TV. That'd be great. Appreciate that very much. Once we get to 1,000 likes, we're going to do some more exciting things with the show. So let's jump over there. We really appreciate that help and all that else too from that part. So Fred, I hope to try that fuel filter. And if that doesn't work, Fred, let's get that thing in here. Looks like he put some plugs and wires on it and a new filter. So maybe Fred, looks like probably we need to get that thing in here and take a look at it for you and see what we got going on. But I'm going to suspect it's a low fuel pressure problem is what I'm going to suspect. But who knows? It might be an ignition issue also on top of that. So anyway, Josh, anything? Let's see. Let's kind of give a
recap of everything we've talked about today.
USMTS tonight, 6 o'clock on Racing Dirt. So jump on there and watch the show, whatever. If you're not down there at Crandall, I know there's a lot of people down there at Crandall racing and stuff too. And we'll be cheering on our MH Ford racing guys down there. Tanner Mullins, the 02, Brandon Gibbons in the 2G, and Joe Duvall in the 91. So we'll see how those guys do again tonight and everything else from that part. A lot of fuel pressure issues this morning, James. Yes, there is a lot of fuel pressure issues. It is true. Josh, and that's the next thing is we talk about preventative maintenance. If fuel prices are rising, we need to make sure our car's in tip-top shape to make sure we're getting the amount of fuel economy we can. I'm driving that limited truck that's a hybrid truck for the F-150, and man, I'm learning all kinds of stuff about that truck.
On the power boost?
Yeah, what I finally did, Jake told me to put that thing in the sport mode, and I finally did. I want to go drag race somebody. And I'm not kidding you, Josh. That thing blew me away. You put that truck in sport mode, and you better hang on because that thing's going.
It's going.
The thing I think where it's at is that electric motor has so much instant torque right from the start. Man,
I don't know. You couldn't complement, two things better. Like you said, is just having the instant torque from the electric motors, and then once they kind of phase out, then you get the turbos are spooled up and ready to go on that EcoBoost on the 3.5 liter, and so it's honestly it is the best of both worlds for sure.
Okay, now the next thing I finally got set up on the truck is, it's got the adaptive cruise that keeps you at the right speed.
Mm-hmm.
Come to a stop, it stops you, and you just hit the resume button. It takes off again and everything else from running everybody. Now, though, there's a deal. You can set that thing on it where it'll read the street signs, a mile an hour.
Yep.
And you can program it if you want it to run 5 mile an hour over or 10 mile an hour or whatever over, and it just does it. You just cruise, so it slows you down, speeds you up on what the road signs are saying. Now, let me tell you what gets tricky. So I leave the dealership on the frontage road, it's 40. I jump up on Kellogg just there at Mays, but then I get right back off of Tyler. You got to be careful because that sign doesn't jump up cool quick. I'm still going pretty fast going down the on-ramp, going on down to Tyler.
Coming down the on-ramp.
Yeah, so you got to be
the
careful there.
there.
For you guys got to be kind of careful. But
you're just merging into traffic, though.
There you go. But that adaptive cruise is so cool. I'm telling you, it keeps you safe, pulls you right into there, and you go clear to zero. And then as a stoplight turns green, the car moves in front of you. You hit the resume button again, it takes off, and the lane keeping and all that kind of stuff. But you know what I still do the most of the time, that's why I hadn't put in the sport mode that much. I'm always trying to get the best mileage I can on the truck. I don't know why. I just am, and it's so easy to do. You put that thing in eco mode, and
that's just something driving a hybrid.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is about.
Now, hold on. The other thing that drove me crazy was, because you take off from a stop sign, if you go real slow, the electric motor stays in longer and you get your mileage better, but it kind of pisses people off behind you not accelerating very fast. Well, guess what? Now I found out there's a gauge down in the dash. You can set it up and it'll show you how much you can accelerate before it kicks into the gas. And now I really got it dialed in. Best so far I've got coming from the dealership to my house, which is about 8 miles, 26.9 miles to gallon. With that truck. Most of the time, just driving whatever, it's about 20. If I was driving a regular EcoBoost or whatever, it's about 15, 16 here in town and stuff. The other thing that's neat about as you're coming to a stop now, you talk about the stop and go traffic.
Yeah.
As soon as you let off the gas, as you're going to brake, that engine's off. And boy, I tell you, I can't tell you, that's got to be a huge savings of fuel from that part. Overall.
Well, and like you said, I think fuel prices are starting to go, kind of go back up. And I do believe that's something for a little while. It's going to continue to be a thing for sure. And it's time to probably start thinking about fuel economy again.
It is. So everybody, it's time's running out. Everybody, thanks for all the comments over on the comment side. Thanks for everybody watching. Thanks for everybody jumping over on the YouTube channel, giving us a subscribe. We want to jump up those few more subscribers. So Delbert, thank you for all you do for that part of it. Thanks for all the calls, everybody watching, listening, everything else too. And don't forget Racing Dirt tonight, 6 o'clock, USMTS, 81 Speedway, 1 to 4. Should be fun, exciting out there at 81 Speedway today, and everything else too. So everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll talk to you next Saturday.